So we recently picked up this trampoline, and we've always wanted to have a trampoline in our backyard. So we're kind of excited to have it, but I don't want to keep it above ground. I want to keep it in the ground, because when I mow the backyard, the one thing I don't want to do is have to move a trampoline around so I can mow. So this project is going to be about how we're going to get it in the ground and different options that you can use to put a trampoline like this in the ground. The important thing to say when you start something like this is that you do it at your own risk. Trampolines like this are not warranted to be in the ground, but there are trampolines on the market that are warranted to be in the ground. Now, of course, those trampolines that are warranted to be in the ground are a lot more expensive, but it is possible to take a trampoline like this and put it in the ground and have it last a while. So that's the plan for this project here, and I'm going to show you what materials I've bought and how it's going together and the process of getting it in the ground. So with that, let's get to it. So the first thing I did obviously is the call before you dig service that's offered locally. I'm pretty sure that's offered everywhere, so make sure that you call ahead, let them know where you want to dig so that they can mark any utilities or anything like that. While I was assembling this, I did go ahead and just take a small 4-inch 2x4 just to kind of give me a space around the side of the trampoline. I put the top of the frame on the ground where I wanted to have the trampoline go, and I just marked around the outside with some marking paint, just so I could have extra room in the pit to put the trampoline in comfortably and not have to worry about squeezing it in there or anything like that. And then when we're done and it's in the ground, we can backfill it, no problem. I am working with my city utility companies, and it's my understanding that there's a storm drain that runs underneath my backyard, of course, right where I want to put this. So I've been working with those guys to kind of figure out where it is and how deep it is and if we can still make it happen. So the end of this video might have the trampoline just a few feet closer to the house. I'd like to have it in this back corner. We picked this just because it's out of the way and we have a good line of sight to it from the house. So today what I want to do is work on building the sidewall, the retaining wall that's going to go around the trampoline here. I did some research online. You can buy prefabricated plastic retaining walls for these things, but they're anywhere, depending on the size of your trampoline. This is a 15-foot trampoline, and a prefabricated retaining wall would have cost me around $800 or $900. So we paid $175 for this trampoline. It retails for about $500, and we wanted to kind of keep the cost down as much as possible. So the materials for the retaining wall cost me about 450 bucks. Obviously there's time involved, but if you don't mind doing the project, then you save that much more money and it's not a big deal. But if you don't want to do anything like this, you want to have it all done and it's pretty much just ready to go, then you'll pay obviously a little bit more money. I'm gonna go ahead and assemble that sidewall and get it ready to go for when we dig. That way when we dig, it's ready to go, it can go in the ground, we can backfill it and enjoy. So with that, let's get to it. So as you can see, we're making progress here. We've got the pressure treated 2x4s bolted into the frame of the trampoline all the way around, ready to go. Now, just to be clear, and I'll have as much of the instructions as possible available in the description below, and the article that I followed to make this happen as well. But just to be clear, the actual leg, these 2x4s were cut 54 inches across, and then the spaces in between the leg, these are 4 feet, so these are 48 inches across. And then we used 5/16 bolts, bolt, washer, nut, and then we'll hack off the rest of the bolt there. And then another thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a Sawzall and just kind of smooth out these overhangs here, just to make sure that when we put the roofing material that it sits nice and flat. I've got some plywood to cut for the excavator to drive on. When we get ready to put it in the ground, I'm gonna remove the springs and the jump pad, and then we'll go ahead and dig the hole and put it in the ground. So we're getting there, we're making progress. Another day and we're back at it. We're gonna go ahead and put this roofing material around the side of the trampoline. I've gone through with a Sawzall and just kind of cleaned up all the edges here, and it looks a lot nicer, and there won't be any pieces of the 2x4 coming across and creating bumps. We're gonna try and wrap this around the corners so that we don't have to cut it. If we can avoid cutting it, that would make it a lot easier, and it would hopefully save us some time. We're gonna attach this material to the frame just using these truss screws here. Should sit really nice. Daylight saving sucks, and it's getting dark already. It's only 5 o'clock and the sun's almost down. So we've got to get after this real quick. All right, the sidewall is done for the most part. All that we want to do now is kind of trim it up a little bit. There's these areas here where the material is just not in a good place. I don't want kids around this. They'll cut their feet, things can happen. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna trim these down, fold it back over, and make it as safe as possible. So that'll be the next step. Then we can start digging the hole. Had a little run-in with the city. There's a water line. There's a storm drain that runs all the way across the backyard. And of course, it's right where I wanted to put the tramp. So I talked to some guys with the city. They recommended moving it over this way a little bit. So what we're gonna do is mark out that same size circle just right here. So we're just gonna move it over just a little bit. It's gonna be in between these sprinkler lines, so I don't have to worry about moving any sprinkler lines. I don't have to worry about hitting anything. It's gonna go right here. So we'll look forward to that. Alright, today is the day. It is D-Day, dig day. And I've got the new area outlined as to where this thing's gonna go. Well, my neighbor's bringing the excavator over and we will get digging. So let's get after it. we're getting there. Got a little bit more to go, and we've already found some treasures as we have been digging. You can see here we've got a nice good chunk of rebar that's come out and some barbed wire. The rebar I think is probably just left over from the construction of the house. The barbed wire, all of this before these houses went in used to be fields with cows and horses and all that stuff, so I think that that's probably just left over from fencing from whatever was here before us. But yeah, making progress. We'll keep going and finish this out. Get that thing in here. So there it is, it's in the ground and it's done. We're super excited to have it. After we finished putting the frame in, we brought in some gravel, 2 truckloads of gravel, just pickup truckloads of pea gravel, and just filled that in, spread it around a little bit just to kind of help with drainage. Huge thanks to my dad for all of the help with putting the frame together, and massive thanks to my neighbor Ryan for bringing the excavator over and digging out the hole for us. Huge project, happy to have it done. Looking forward to spring and kind of cleaning up this area a little bit more and just kind of making it look a lot nicer. But until then, we'll go through winter and yeah, that'll be it. But we'll look forward to a lot of years with this thing and a lot of memories. Kids already love it. So hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.